Hi, I'm Karin with God's Garden Treasures, and I'm here with the surprise date challenge talking about your flower date. So the first thing you want to think about is, where am I going to get my flowers? And flowers are so gorgeous. The challenge is they need a good water supply, and they need to be cold until they get to you. So a couple tips about where to go to get your flowers. If you're in the part of the country that has an AJ's or a Safeway or a Trader Joe's, those are good. We've talked to them about their cold chain and how they handle flowers, and they do a really good job. Some of the other stores, what you'll want to do is find out, talk to the flower person and ask them, how do I know whether the flowers came in this morning or a few days ago or last week? Because if they've been sitting out on the floor at room temperature, they won't last as long in your home, if that's a concern for you. Now, the other thing to look for is, for example, these lilies that I have here that are really beautifully open. These are only going to last for a day or two. So with lilies, if you like those, you might even look for something like this where it's completely closed, and then you get to watch it open in your home. Another thought is you want to look at what's happening down here with the foliage. For example, you want to, like this one, the foliages are a little broken. That might mean it was handled a little roughly, whereas this one, they're all standing up nice and straight. Or the other thing I noticed on one of ours, these berries, these hypericum berries, they're so cool. But you can see how the leaves are kind of browning. If you see a lot of that, or if you see mold or just very brown dry leaves or brown wet leaves in the plastic, you want to avoid those. The other thing you can look for is at the end. This kind of, actually this is not the best one. Here we go, something that's green. You want it to be green. If you pick it up and look at the bottom ends, you want it to be green. If that's brown and yellowed, and especially if it's really pinched, it means there's been bacteria or the water source hasn't been great. So, and then the last tip I'm going to give you, because in romance, a lot of people think about roses, is I'm going to teach you the rose hip test. What that is you're going to reach down in the package gently, not harming the roses, but you're just going to pinch them at their hip. And this one is nice and firm. These both look exactly the same. But if you look at my fingers, when I pinch this, see how much tighter my fingers come together? When it's really firm at the hip, it's going to last a lot longer in your vase, even though they look the same here. So those are a few tips for how to pick your flowers.